Recording in progress.
Welcome in, welcome in. Hey guys, welcome in. I'm just getting started on my live for today. Got a lot I want to talk about. How we doing? What you got? What you got? What you got? Hey guys. What's going on? A lot I want to talk about. We're just getting started. I'm joining. If you can help with some likes and engagement, that always helps. Lots I want to talk about. How was your last week? Was the last week intense for anyone? Just me? Info box, thank you so much. That means a lot to me. What's going on, guys? Yeah, if you can help me with some likes, that would be great. I got some stuff I want to talk about. Sorry, I'm waiting for more people to get signed in. Yeah, if you're new to my page, we talk about creativity here. We talk about everything related to creativity. Creativity is the name of the game. I always say that I survey art, culture, world religion, philosophy, mysticism, everything for wisdom about the creative process, how to stay engaged in your creativity for a lifetime, how to take it seriously. I always talk about creativity and spirituality are in the same thing. They're intrinsically related. That most people are stuck, a claim that I make in my work, that most people are often stuck because they discount the relationship between creativity and spirituality. That in every sacred tradition, God is referred to as the creator. And many of us perhaps do not consider enough the relationship between our spiritual life and our creative life. And can you interrogate the relationship between those two things? How are you in your creativity? And how are you in your spirituality? And can you interrogate the relationship between those two things? Can you transpose those two areas of your life on top of one another? Something else, a claim that I often make when I'm here. And hello to everyone on TikTok, hello and everyone on YouTube. I'm live on both places. Thank you for the likes and engagement. I have a specific subject I want to talk to you about. I'll try to get to some questions. Yeah, everything that I always say, of course, I am here for entertainment purposes only. I am not a therapist of any kind. I'm not ordained in any way. I don't have any theological, psychological, medical credentials of any kind. Anything that I'm about to say for the subject that I want to talk about today, which is how weird it is. Amen. How strange it is at the moment. Creativity in the age of madness. Creativity in the age of disclosure. Creativity in the age of shit's about to hit the fan low key. I can't know for sure because I don't have a crystal ball. But what I can say for sure is that there's enough data in this world. There's enough going on for us to be like, hang on, well, hold on, wait a minute. It's getting weird. And I would be remiss. I would be remiss if I did not discuss why I think it's weird at the moment with my full chest. And I appreciate the likes. Any support you can give is great. I am a lone gunman, so to speak. I am a one-woman show. Any support you can lend, it helps. Yeah, and if you have a question that you want asked, please drop it in the chat. I'll do my best. I'm getting a lot of questions on TikTok as well. Yeah. What's up, guys? Yeah, something that I want to say to my community in general is that I'm doing really good. Thank you. I'm doing very good. I had a rough week. I'm sure everybody did. There's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot going on in the news. There's a lot that we're being forced to see online, and I want to address it. And I want to address it as somebody who tries very hard to stay sane. That it is not something to take for granted. That it is not something to assume. That I always say that I've said this, one of my more viral videos that was actually tampered with by TikTok, which I found interesting, is that if you're going to open these apps, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, if you're going to open these social media apps, it is critical for you to settle your nervous system. It is critical, I would wager, for the artist, and this is the subject of today's live. Consider it a lecture. I have notes up. I have PowerPoint presentations on just to make sure I talk about everything that I want to talk about. I've said this in my classroom a lot. I run an online school for artists. I say this to my clients and my students regularly. It is absolutely critical that that an artist learns how to maintain custody over their senses. And I would like to ask if you're doing that. Do you know what I mean when I say that? You know what I mean? Maintain custody over your senses. Do you know how to do that? Are you doing that? Johnny understands. Do you understand how critical that is? Let me say this another way. It is absolutely critical, guys, to lock in. Not lock in for vanity's sake. If you haven't noticed, locking in for vanity's sake is not enough these days. It could be for somebody, but I want you to ask yourself again, if we're locking in, and I'm here to talk about creativity. I'm here to also assert that your creativity, the relationship to your creativity reflects and is contingent upon your relationship to your spiritual process. I don't mean your manifestation techniques. I mean, what is your relationship to God? The God that you don't want to know. The God that you believe is not real. The God that you resent. God. It is absolutely critical for an artist, I would say, for anyone alive, to maintain custody over your senses. Why? And what I want to talk about, how your creativity is an instrument of your sanity in an age of madness. Thank you, Bill. Yeah, Bill. This talk ain't gonna be for everybody. I don't expect a lot of engagement, but if you're locked in, let's lock in. Your creativity, I would wager, is an instrument, a tool, a technology of your sanity. Why? Because God is the creator. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? That your inspiration, that your creativity is an umbilical back to unconditional love. And if you haven't checked, it's low key crazy. It's low key. The vibe is off, team. Amen. The vibe is off, chat. Yes or no? If you have any sliver of sanity, if you have any sliver of intuition, if you've done any work, if you have been through something, you're low key looking around you, trying to be like, man, okay. I know that my little interpersonal dramas are annoying, if not at the very least annoying, if not worse than that, more grave than that. So I can do it. My little breakups, my little friendships, my mom is getting on my nerves. My dad, I haven't spoken to my dad in 10 years, etc. There's the interpersonal stuff, which increases, even though when we thought somehow that getting older, we thought it was going to get easier for some reason. It's not getting easier, is it? Outside of your interpersonal goings on, there is a world out there that don't make any damn sense. Amen. Am I the only one? Am I on my timeline? There are acts of Shmenish smide on my timeline. On my timeline, there was something recent, something incredibly dark. A famous gossip columnist, Perez Hilton, did something beyond conceivable in terms of its darkness. Yeah? Are we on the same page? The Epstein Island and his compadres. It's getting weird. Concurrent to that, our algorithms are dropping us nonsense. Our algorithms are dropping us darkness. I don't know. I'm speaking to YouTube and TikTok at the same time. TikTok, really quick. Am I the only one who sees those weird cartoon AI ads between mythological, demonic adjacent characters doing not so appropriate acts? Am I the only one who sees that? I want to talk about and I want to validate why some of you feel stuck in your creativity. And it fits under the umbrella of spiritual warfare. The reason you are stuck in your art, I claim over and over and over again, there is not a video that I have created, and there's not an inch, not one piece of content that I've created over the last several years of being public online that did not assert aggressively that there is nothing wrong with you, that you are not broken. You do not need to Google yourself to death. You do not need to get to the bottom of the anxious attachment, new age 48 laws of power worksheet companion book to see what's wrong with you. Why? Because there's nothing wrong with you. Someone told you in the middle of the night on Instagram, on TikTok, and nowhere else, by the way. 6, 7, 8, 10 years ago, when we all started getting online to dangerous levels, in the pandemic, really is when it started happening. Someone told you that you have suffered from limerence. Some marketing invented self-help industrial complex pseudo pop psychological term told you that you have an imposter syndrome and you believed them. But just like God said to Adam and Eve in Genesis, I'm naked. Who told you that? Who told you that you have a fear of being seen? What even is that? When I say you need to maintain custody over your senses, if you are stuck in your creativity, more and more and more, I need you to become conscious of the idea of spiritual warfare. If God is the creator, if God creates, if God's the number one moniker on the long list of what God is, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, God is the creator in every tradition. I'm Roman Catholic, so that's the bag that I speak in. But I've studied lots of religions. I've been inside of lots of religions. I have no qualms whatsoever about any religion in the universe, none whatsoever, because they're all real. But I'm Roman Catholic these days. Every tradition within the Bhagavad Gita, the Hindu tradition, God is the creator. Lord Krishna is creativity himself. If you are stuck in your creativity, if you doubt yourself to the point of being stuck and paralyzed in your creativity, and further, which is a grave offense, because in every tradition, God is unconditionally loving, unconditionally forgiving. In every tradition, we are created in God's image. And so somehow one of you thinks that there's something broken about you and therefore disqualified, that you are defective. Imagine there being a defect in the universe. A defect is how you guys act. And I'm here to say that that's the result of spiritual warfare. And what I'm here to also remind you is that God is the creator. And so your creativity not only contains solutions to the issues of the world. Why would it not? Why would God, the creator, that fixes the universe, that moves the universe through creation and love, and if you were given that capacity, why would you not also contain the solution? Something that is consistent through all scripture of all varieties that reference the supreme God is that the interdimensional upper beings, God and the like, angels, etc., require the intercession of humanity. They require it. They are dependent on our consent in the creative process. That's why this species is so special. Your creativity and the receptivity of inspiration, vibes, itself, the creative flow itself depends only on your rigorous consent, daily consent, obedience, they call it in spiritual language. Are you with me? Am I making sense? No? Not only do they require humanity as a linchpin with our fleshy selves, as a linchpin between the invisible and the invisible world. Thank you so much, Primetime. Thank you for the gifts, guys. All of it makes a difference. I get on here because God tells me to. TikTok, by the way, TikTok lives are so weird. I've never seen a regular schmegular TikTok live. It's always like somebody eating lobster with their feet or something, or making violent arguments back and forth. It's never like, I'm like, man. So shout out YouTube for being chill. Anyway, not only are we granted the dignity as humans to participate in the creative process. The creative process is exclusively godly. Dolphins, unless the last time you've checked, cannot create. Sunflowers cannot create according to their free will. They cannot. We can do whatever. We can imagine, get in there, make details, add nuance, create volumes, add shade, color, texture, opinion, experience. We can put it into multiple languages. We can use multiple mediums. We can take something that is felt in the invisible realm, in the inspired realm, in the subtle realm, and have it go through our brains, our life, our experience, our technique, etc., and make it visible. That's miraculous. That's incredible. I have this idea of a book that I want to write. And then by God's grace, you get it done. You with me? But I want to say, not only does creativity, not only are we granted that dignity, but humans are required. The solutions to the planet, it's the planet's ills, have only come through a human being's obedience. Your creativity, because it's connected to God, because God is the creator. Nothing else creates except God and humanity. Do you understand that? You understand that? No? But things are getting weird. People are losing their minds. There are things that are, I mean, I'm not, I cannot pretend in any capacity to be a prophet, to be a guru, to be a mystic. I'm not that person. I'm an artist. I'm a human being, just like you. Check in with your spiritual guides. Check in with God to check everything that I say. Do not listen to me above your own intuition. But people have been on a steady diet of dysregulation, a steady diet, and it's starting to show. And I want to tell you to lock into your creativity as a matter of life and death, as a matter of staying sane. Keep your head down on your creativity. Why? Your creativity connects you to God. Your creativity contains solutions to the world's problems. You have been through something. You have survived something. I know everyone talks about you feel disqualified from your art, you feel disqualified from your creative process. You don't think that you're good enough to get out there and start, which is a lie. Which is a lie. You are constantly conditioned into meditating on your brokenness, saying that you were traumatized. Please do not forget that whatever traumatized you, you have also survived, knowing damn well that not everybody survives what you've been through. Now that you survived it, do not hoard your safety. Make something of the graces that you received. I want to tell you this. Because I don't know how you guys feel, but I'm here to tell you that people are locking in like it's the apocalypse. And I don't mean in a doom, scary kind of way. I don't mean in a hoarding your water, canned food kind of fearful way. I mean locking in the sense, let me stop playing around with my life, my soul, my purpose. Let me stop playing around. Let me stop taking it for granted. Let me listen. Let me get to the bottom of these spiritual questions that I have. Let me start taking care of myself. Let me actually start establishing limits and boundaries with how much time I spend online. Now, let me listen to that rottenness in my gut that says I should not be online like that. I can't do this for another 2 hours online. Let me actually do something about my body, about my health. Yeah? Does this make sense? Hold on 1 second, guys. How do you know you have a relationship with God? Everybody has a relationship with God. I always hear people saying that they have conversations with God, but I don't understand how. Um, Talk to God. You are allowed to to direct your conversation, the contents of your heart and your spirit, with your language to this thing that you think might not be there. God understands that you are a human being for whom understanding the divine, the invisible realms, the upper cosmic technologies, and the physics of the upper universe, God understands that that's not exactly our first language as humans. You begin it humbly. You begin it the way you begin anything, not knowing. Hey, Leo. Anyway, I would say, what I want to say is to lock in to your creativity. And I want to tell you that to follow this impulse that you might be feeling, to get serious about everything, to learn to repair the relationships in your life, you don't have to be perfect now, but to start taking whatever thing seriously, to trust that instinct. This is me speaking off the cuff. This is Vanessa only. This is Vanessa only. Disclaimer, disclaimer. Your nervous system is going to help you more than you think. And I don't mean nervous system for the sake of breath work. I'm saying a nervous system that has a spiritual nervous system work that has a spiritual undergirdle. Yeah? 5 minutes left on the goal. Here, guys, thank you. Any support you can give would be greatly appreciated. And if you can't, just like and subscribe. It makes a huge difference. That's okay. I have the sense that I've been on here for 30 minutes, but I have the sense that I haven't even started. Your creativity has solutions to the world's problems if you would only be obedient to it. Being obedient to your creativity does not require you to fix yourself before you start. That is an illusion. Do you need to take responsibility for yourself? Yes. Do you deserve to suffer? No. However, do not underestimate the God, the creator, getting involved in this Herculean idea that you have. Somebody asked, how do you deal with imposter syndrome? It would depend a little bit on what your imposter syndrome is. But I want to say this aggressively. Who told you that you have imposter syndrome? What is that? You hear the word syndrome. I hear this all the time with all my clients and all my students. Who told you that you hear the word syndrome and you really do believe that there is some verifiable congenital disease? I have imposter syndrome. Who told you that you have imposter syndrome? Do you know what I'm saying? Who told you that? Who told you that you have imposter syndrome? Perhaps creativity is challenging because it's supposed to be. Perhaps creativity requires vulnerability. Perhaps creativity requires a type of porousness from your innermost parts, the parts that you're ashamed of, the parts that you wish to conceal, the parts of yourself that you think make you unworthy, the parts of yourself that you think you have to work through and fix. Perhaps that's the place that a poet actually writes from. Their humanity, not their I got an A+ in therapy-idness place. Not that place. That place doesn't exist. But the part of you that God loves unconditionally, maybe that's the part that writes the poem, to be or not to be. That's the question. Perhaps that's the part that makes Van Gogh paint A Starry Night, is the part that is broken. But you have found a way to love it anyway by being obedient to it. You found a way to connect that pain to something else that's going on in the world. You believe in us enough. You believe in people enough. You believe in goodness enough to get your ass up and be obedient to your art. An imposter syndrome. How do you solve an imposter syndrome? I know people don't like it when I answer in this way, but please, please, please resist the temptation to speak so poorly and believe the worst about yourself. That's going to start, you discipline your mind, maintain custody over your senses. There is nothing about you that is unworthy. Creativity is difficult. Creativity requires vulnerability. Another way that I answer this question about imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome, meaning what I assume is I do not feel, oh my gosh, thank you so much, Jazz. That means a lot to me. Every time I get one of these, it like straight to the heart. You have no idea. I'm an artist just like you. You never know if it's appreciated. Thank you. Wow, thank you guys. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. How you doing? It's so good to see you. Did you sign up for the Villain Challenge or is that a different realtor? Is that you? Good. Okay, we can talk about liberation. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, I can't wait. Do I access my Akashic records? No. I don't know. I don't feel the need to be frank. Why? What do I need to know the records for? Imposter syndrome is doesn't feel like not identity is unique enough compared to other artists. There's something in my spirit, everybody, and I'm gonna, Leo, are you still in here? Is anyone who's in the Villain Challenge or summer school in here? Any of my existing clients? Thank you so much, Octagon. I need to aggressively, in the moment, address the fact that y'all are so afraid. Listen to me. Fear is unacceptable. Do I judge you? No. But going forward in this world, and I say this with the urgency that I feel it on my own heart at the moment, including as I inquire and look at this material within myself and my own fear. You entertain your fears entirely too much. You do not have to fix a damn thing in order to start. Everybody asks me questions. How do I engage with this fear? I have a fear of this. Well, in my case, I'm afraid of being too old. Well, I'm afraid that it's too late. Or I'm afraid that it's too young. Well, I'm afraid. It's all nonsense. Not that there's anything wrong with you for becoming afraid. I'm not judging you, but I am addressing the fear in your body for as foolish, in the foolish way that for what it really is. You have extraordinary dignity. You have ingested the self-help industrial complex, this secular, godless thing, which is well-intended by everybody who writes up their self-help thing. Everybody's perfectly well-intended. But you need to understand that your dignity as a human being, as someone who is given the capacity to create, is perfect as it is. You don't have to fix anything before you start. And how I know that you guys are afraid is because you stop before you deal with whatever you're telling yourself. You listen to your fear as if it's wisdom. I'm afraid of being too old, so let me stop and deal with that. No. You're being bamboozled. God is the creator. God is asking all of us to be obedient. And you're listening to your fear about what it is. Does this make sense? And when I listen to everybody, people say, for me personally, no offense, Octagon, that this is how I am? For my issue is this. My issue is this. What does that tell me? Doing this for years, talking to dozens and dozens of people a week, thousands of clients, helping with their creativity. You all think that what you're going through, this is how spiritual warfare works, by the way. There is a fear that you hold deep in your heart, and I would wager strongly that many of you felt the pressure of that pain in your heart aggressively in the last 7 days. That I would put money on that. I would put money on the fact that there was a bit of an ayahuasca that happened in the last week or so. Tell me I'm wrong. Nope, I was chilling. Nope, didn't cry once. Nope. Am I wrong? No, it's not freaky. We're all going through the same thing at the same time. And let me tell you what Kay Arthur said this, and I appreciate your comment. Kay Arthur said the following. That's freaky. No, it's not. The reason you think it's uncanny is because you are inside the illusion that you are alone in whatever you're struggling with. Abandonment, difficulty. The lie is that you're alone. Everybody who is listening right now suffers from, has had, I would say, the big demon that they're alone came home to roost loudly, painfully in the last week. Hard. And and if I can speak frankly, God give me the language to do this responsibly. I would believe that for many of you, that spiritual warfare, that thought that creeped in, that voice that creeped in through the language of your most critical fear, that your most critical wound, not the thing that I'm telling you to get over, not that I'm not telling you that the thing that you're imagining that happened didn't happen. I know whoever hurt you hurt you. I know that that's real, but there was a second gesture in addition to that original pain that happened to you. That was real. Every bit of it was real. There was another mechanic, something coming in there and saying, for whatever reason, that thing that happened to you, the way that your parents treated you, the way the world is treating you, that's not that. Be afraid. In my case, I'm alone. I've buried a lot of people. And so everything that I wish to do in my life, when I am afraid, every new step, every courageous gesture, in the name of my creativity, in the name of treating people well, in the name of love, it speaks through that wound of the past, and it's sentient, guys. Hey, Vanessa, you can't start that new thing. You can't do that, because if you do that, you're going to feel the pain of that original thing, and you're not going to make it. That's a lie. That's a lie. That is not true. And what I'm asking you to do is to touch grass on the extent to which that lie has made its way into your creative process, into your spiritual process, into your psychological healing process. That voice, oh, there's something wrong with me, is now the voice that you listen to, and that's the voice that inspires all your self-help and your self-reflection. Does that make sense? Oh, I'm alone. Oh, yeah, I have this issue. And so therefore I need to deal with it. What? When I say that this is the root, this is the seed of our madness. This is what keeps people in fetal position. This is what keeps you in fetal position in the morning, wasting time, not drinking water, just scrolling. You don't like it. You like maybe 1 out of 100 videos at best. Because something has convinced you that going like this is going to feel worse than this. And that ain't true, bro. How do I get a one-on-one with you? Link in bio. Spiritual warfare. With love in my heart, I do not know. I am not an expert. I am not ordained. This is opinion. This is my pattern recognition. This is what I believe. Do not let my opinions take over your own intuition and your own relationship with God. But the spiritual warfare is coming for y'all in a way that I need you to get a grip. A Mercury retrograde. Great. No. What? What? Your soul, guys. Your soul. Your connectivity, your belief in your awareness of the unconditional love that surrounds us and binds us all together. That was a Star Wars reference. That was a Star Wars reference. Am I making sense? I'm not making sense. You guys don't like this? You guys want me to talk about something else? We are going to continue to see people, if you do not maintain rigorous care of your nervous system with a spiritual objective too, not nervous system because some psychologist, some neuroscientist told you to do it either. I'm saying understanding that maintaining custody over your senses at the level deep of the body, of the nervous system level, maintaining custody over your senses is the difference between staying sane. For example, if you some people still cannot tell that 60% of the comment sections on TikTok are bots. You should not need to hear at this stage in the game. I would wager. This is me. This is Vanessa. Only. You should not need to listen to an opinion piece, to watch a documentary about social media, to understand, to feel in your body that more than half of the comment section on TikTok is bots. You should not, you should feel that in your spirit. You should feel that in your body. Your nervous system should be able to detect. That's a bot. When I open my, I don't know for sure which ones are, I'm not perfect, but I'm saying we have to start moving faster. People are locking in like they're preparing spiritually for the apocalypse. And I don't mean that to scare you, but I'm saying like, hey, let me actually touch grass on what matters. My TikTok live was just restricted. Do I have any moderators on TikTok? Your creativity has a solution, and you know that too, don't you? Don't you know? Isn't half the issue is that you want to create something that's a little strange, that's a little big, that's a little lofty, according to your pedigree, according to how many artist residencies you have, how much money you have, how much notoriety, how many followers you have. Despite you have nothing to show for yourself, you have something in there, don't you? You've seen enough. And here you are stuck, not doing it. Meanwhile, the machines are coming for us. TikTok, YouTube. I'm on YouTube right now. Yes, thank you for mentioning dignity. Please do not forget your dignity. It breaks my heart. Hey, how you doing, guys? It breaks my heart to see that you have lost touch with your own dignity. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to watch people go around and around and around, believing that this nonsense that they haven't manifested. What? Yo, what? Oh, the reason it hasn't happened yet is because I haven't attracted. What? It's madness. at the level of, for me, sound the alarm. For me, I'm losing sleep about it. The, that being, I heard somebody say this, I forget his name. His name is Michael something. I love his account. I forget his name. I'll figure it out and post it on YouTube later. He says that now is a time for you to either be a warrior or a worrier, warrior or victim. And that you can change it on a dime. You can change it on a dime. 180. How do you do that, man? God. Your art is here to save the species. And you know it. And you know it. You know it damn well. You got something in you. Man, I got something in me, man. So here's you. I got something in me. Oh, but someone told me that I have limerence. And so I'm going to sit on the outskirts of life until I figure out whatever the fuck that thing means. As if there's something wrong with you for having been hurt. As if there's some appropriate way to deal with love that doesn't go the way that you need it to go, the way that it's supposed to go. As if, like, one of my favorite TikToks I've ever seen, and it stays with me. I think about it almost every day. You getting mad at me? You're judging me, or you're judging yourself for being single still? Love is difficult and rare, and it happens twice. And here you are, you thought you had it, knowing damn well love only happens once or twice in your life, 3 times maybe. And that last one didn't quite land the way you wanted it to. And now you've been Googling yourself to death for the last 2 years because some asshole on the internet said that you have an attachment style issue. What? That's slop. That's internet slop. Maintain custody over your senses so that you can always be attached to your dignity, and so you can always be attached to your creativity. I've said this before, but you need to settle your nervous system before you open these apps. Because these machines, these algorithms, they can read your brain activity. They can read your nervous system better than you can. Better than you can. Better than you can. Imagine allowing yourself in 2026, allowing the TikTok algorithm to know you better than you know yourself. You are an NPC, a non-playable character. Yes, I'm single because I'm heartbroken and nervous to love against someone. No, that's fine. That's true. That's valid. That is not an excuse to not do your art. Find me a poem that is about perfect love that works out. Oh, yeah. No, it's always they broke my heart. I didn't get it confused. They left me. They died. They cheated on me. I'm secretly gay. They died, but when they were in my arms, we loved each other from across the ocean. No, right. Tell us what it feels like to be heartbroken and write about it. Olivia Dean. Of course, I still care. Lauryn Hill, the miseducation of Lauryn Hill. It's about love and what it actually is. Do not let this self-help industrial complex convince you that there's anything wrong with you other than you are alive. That's all you are as human. Maintain custody over your senses. I beg you. I did an experiment a few months ago. I noticed that every time I was in a bad mood about something I was going through, an interpersonal relationship, a friend getting on my nerves, having us going through a friend breakup, a personal breakup, whatever it is, interpersonal stuff, without me even having to, like, what I noticed is, like, okay, let's say for the example, okay, I'm dating a new person, and then their communication slows down, and so then you're a little hurt. So then what happens? You get online, and then somebody brings up some video about anxious attachment style, and then it makes you feel a little bit better. You feel a little seen, right? Gives you some ideas to think about it. But then what happens? The algorithm finds that shit fast. The algorithm's like, oh, We got somebody heartbroken. And then you get more and more and more and more videos. And there's some of them resonate and some of them are helpful. Some of them are a little resonant, but it doesn't feel constructive. It just kind of makes you feel worse. Do you know that experience? Maybe you wanna look up a video about skincare. Maybe you notice you had a couple breakouts and you know TikTok's a really good search engine, so you want a couple strategies, but then you're looking and you're looking and you're looking, and then before you know it, you're just looking, you're just watching stuff, and you do not have the information you need. You're paralyzed with information, and worse, you feel worse about yourself. And for the life of me, guys, I do not understand why you do not take more rigorous care and concern over the times when you feel worse, as if it's a given. Oh, yeah, I'm just on the internet and I feel worse. I'm in this relationship and now I feel worse. What? I'm trying this strategy, but it's not working and I feel worse. Bro, yes, the algorithm knows when you are leaned into a video because you're in pain. The objective of these algorithms is not to sell you things. We wish it were that bad. If that were, I mean, that's grave enough. Just take your money. It's not about your attention span. And it's not about dopamine. It's about the custody over your senses. Before the internet, the spiritual warfare is a battle over a person's senses. Am I touching grass enough within all of my faculties to know that this fearful thought in my head has nothing to do with my true nature? Am I touching grass enough? Are you protecting your senses? Are you just out here run the fuck them up? Just open, just willy the fuck nilly. You see what I'm saying? Yes, the algorithms are more specifically, guys, I want to say this. More specifically, because somebody said algorithms are clearly designed to prey on and destroy the human spirit. Yes, they are. But why? Because the human spirit is designed for creativity. Your algorithms are sending you fears about your creativity, about your life's purpose. Your senses are here to help you achieve your life purpose, your capacity to feel, hear, taste, touch. This is base. This is not, this is like, this is before the ABCs. In order for you to paint, write a poem, you've got to hear, see, touch, taste, smell, experience. And that algorithm, no, the relationship that you have between you and God is about joining in creation, participating in creation. That is the only thing God wants you to do, is to create. That's what you get for your 80 years. What do you need to, what do you want me to do, God? Create. Be obedient. And what you do when you get online is that you are being fed things that you are going on this rabbit hole, this hamster wheel down the yellow brick road inside of your fear. The algorithm does not feed you information about your interests. It feeds your fears about your interests. Do you understand that? Have you noticed the difference? You want to you want to look up new locations about where to go in your new city. And then if you can get a couple things like, "Oh, there's a new coffee shop," but then after a while, you're being fed comparison. You need some new you're looking for, like, you want to go get Botox or something. And so, but because you don't like the wrinkles on your forehead. And but then before you know it, then you feel worse about yourself. You don't have the information about that thing that's troubling you. You are deeper into the fear about that thing that's wrong with you. That thing that you're worried about, the thing that you're concerned about. And this is what the catechism of the Catholic Church says, that every human desire is about creativity. Every step that you take, every question on your heart is about your purpose in this lifetime. There is no other consideration. There's no other objective, in the same way that a bird's only objective is to fly. A human being's only objective is to create. So every thought that you have is here to help you about your purpose. And then this app, TikTok, for example, harvests That energy, that time, we know that it's a harvester. But what I fear is that you guys don't think about that enough. We leave it at the level of truism. Oh, it harvests your energy. Do you understand? What is the cost of your energy being harvested? Do you understand the cost? This isn't making any sense to anybody. Well, I'll try. I'll keep trying. Thank you very much, Betta. I did a video about this recently. Your soul. You, things are going to keep escalating. People who are listening to the voice of God are going to keep hearing the voice of God and keep moving accordingly. The Big Bang is going to keep big banging through the cosmos. Some of you will be left behind. Some of you will be watching Love Island while other people are getting on the ark. Some of you will be worried about what's wrong with your limerence while your neighbor's house is getting taken over by ghouls and putting people in cages. And I don't judge you for participating in this, not even slightly. But I want you to understand that the confusion, the stuckness that you have is engineered. Am I crazy? Am I doing too much? Your nervous system is going to help you maintain custody over your senses. I started to say this. I did an experiment the other day because I noticed myself in this algorithm. By the way, for those with rigorous pattern recognition, why is it engineered to attack your soul? Because this life is spiritual, because there's a primary battle happening for the souls of humanity. It's called spiritual warfare. Will you fall into the light or will you fall into darkness? That's not a metaphor for when you're meditating or watching philosophy videos. There's a consequence. There's a consequence. I mean, the pain that everybody is so willing to accept. This is an aside before I continue my anecdote. The pain that you have in your heart, you must give to God. Now I'm going to miss a lot of you with that. Forgive me if I sound as though I'm here to evangelize. I'm not. I am here to talk about your creativity. But I'm here to for the 5% of you who heard what I'm saying, give your pain to God. And there's peace there. There's real peace on the other side. And I'm not you don't need to do whatever religion. I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy right now. But I'm just saying I need you to believe in the things that people that for you exist at the level of Instagram quotable. That's a good question. Is pain not necessary? Is pain not a necessity to be a witness on the other side? Yes, it is a necessity. It's a necessity. The ability to endure agony is a grace given by God, because love in this dimension, in this dimension, is not possible without agony. It's a feature of the human condition that love without pain you must have pain. The degree to which you can experience love is met to equal degree with the degree to which you can experience agony. A human being advances in grace when they experience agony. They advance in grace. Thank you, Chris. I'm going to set up another live goal. Any help, likes, subscribes? If you can't afford to help, which I do humbly request, Like, subscribe, share. It does help a great deal. Anyway, let's get back to this anecdote, which is very interesting. Yeah, I just keep getting these waves of sadness, how godless we are. And I don't mean people need to go do Christian values. I'm Roman Catholic, so at the end of the day, I do believe that. But I'm saying just, I can see the wandering, the ache, searching for solutions in all these places and all these. And is it helping you? Does studying your attachment style over the last 5 years since this thing came out, has that helped you? Or has it just made you, is it just another label to put on yourself that makes you feel isolated from each other, from one another? Anyway, back to this thing. The theme, the subject here is maintain custody over your senses. Do not open these apps unless you are, do not open these apps unless you have settled your nervous system. I did an experiment because I noticed that I couldn't escape the algorithm's onslaught of this really toxic relationship slop discourse. If he wanted to, he would. As if people aren't going through grave things, etc. Yes, of course, Tom, doubting Tom. Keep going. That's how it works. Keep going. So I would notice myself in this really inescapable, just thing about I was like, man, this algorithm is really responding aggressively, quickly to the pain that I'm in. And so I did an experiment. I just turned off my phone. I closed my phone and I did a lot of really rigorous meditation, spiritual and nervous system hygiene. And then I reopened my app without touching anything on my phone. And my whole algorithm was back to God. Simple, happy, good stuff. And I posted about that, and the video exploded in terms of its engagement within minutes. And then it was reset back to zero, the engagement. Maintain custody over your senses. Your senses are here to help you actualize, create, grow more sophisticated in your purpose, in your creative expression, in your creative capacity. That's what your senses are for. In the same way that everything about a bird is about flight, in the same way that every aspect of that fish is about swimming, every faculty that you have is about creativity, and it's getting hemorrhaged on these apps. It's harvesting your energy. Do not let that sit into awareness at the level of truism. Actually notice it. Become conscious of it. Become conscious of the parts of yourself, the stories that are aware of the fact that these things are hemorrhaging your energy, and then ask yourself, why I need help with this. This is not okay. Imagine what you'll be like in 10 years. Imagine what you'll be like in 10 years. If you cannot tell right now that app, thank you so much. If you cannot tell right now that the Department of Defense is making AI propaganda videos, if you can't tell that right now, if you can't tell within an instant which videos are AI, which comments are bots, if you can't tell by a feeling in your body, what's going to happen to you in 10 years? 10 years. I think about the people, like, I mean, people who, there's a restaurant in the city that I live in that plays AI music in the cafe. I can't sit there. I can't, it makes me sick to my stomach. Can you tell when music is AI? Can you tell when people who are trying to sell you something have AI scripts? Does that register as a problem to you? What's going to happen? You know what I'm saying? Like, never mind, with love in my heart, never mind if you're somebody who uses AI scripts to sell things because you're under the illusion that you're out of time. Never mind that. But I'm saying, what's going to happen to you in 15 years if you are falling for somebody's AI video? What thing will they sell you into in 10 years? Does that not does the fact, 'cause let me tell you, because I'm a full-time content creator, this shit is exhausting. This shit is exhausting. But let me tell you what my process is. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I'm an introvert. I want to go sit on a ranch and do this, but I have work to do. And I've got I've got things to sell because it's how I pay my bills. And I have, and I could put it in the Claude and do it and get it done. You see what I'm saying? But I don't, because you are on the other side of it. Another human being. What's up? Another human being who is going through something challenging. It would be my assumption about every last one of you. I cannot do that to you. I cannot, just because I'm fucking tired. Oh yeah. Can you create a 30 days worth of content for me so that I can not be engaged in the human condition because I'm tired? I have plenty of words as a colleague and as a friend for the content creators who just create. I see it all the time. I'm just going, I'm like, this is an AI script and we can tell. You didn't even put it in a Claude. This is a chat GPT script. We can tell. What's your, the fact that you cannot tell that we can tell, the fact that it hasn't registered to you that we can tell, the fact that that does not register to you as a grave offense in the human unwritten code book of necessary friction and rites of passage, the fact that that hasn't registered to you, I'm looking at you like my brother in Christ. My brother in Christ. An AI script. It would be cool if AI was chill. You know what I'm saying? Like if it was just like, oh, like if it was like a Google search engine, or like like back in the day, we used to have to go to the library and just look through the books to find the book you wanted. But now you got like a digitized database. No sweat. If that's what AI was doing, no sweat. But the AI is no good, brother. It's up to no good. You see what I'm saying? But my point is not for the person who uses AI scripts, because I understand. It's hard. You're under the illusion that friction is bad. These AI things, they lubricate you outside of the necessary friction required for becoming. You need friction. The illusion, the lie that you are behind in a universe that God created. You think you're behind? Imagine a sunflower blooming in the spring being like, I'm behind. What? How? Yes, you have to pay the bills, etc. That's not your fault. But my point again is not about the person who's using AI. I'm talking about the person who's been got by it. Someone wrote an AI script for a PDF on a website that they put on Perplex. They've put the whole shit through the expansion pack of Claude time, the Claude Perplexity API. And they said, make me a website. Now, is it this person's problem? Do I judge them? Not even slightly, because everybody has to pay the bills. But I'm talking to you who is consuming content, self-help guides written by the machine, and you can't tell the difference. You just clicked it, and they got your $10. What happened to you? So they got their $10, and that's fine. What'd they do? They likely just had to pay their landlord. Fine. What's happened to you? You were given a solution, something that you were taught. You had a pain, worse before that. You had a pain on your heart. Oh, I don't know how to get through this. I'm hurting. I'm struggling with something. You take that's what you're supposed to take to prayer. By the way, your community, a human being, you are supposed to inconvenience somebody in your life to be like, hey, I have a question. That's what we're supposed to do. That person is supposed to be inconvenienced, and then they're supposed to stop their bullshit and be like, hold on, let me pay attention to that person I actually care about. That's right. Oh, thank you for reminding me the purpose. And then they have a God encounter because they brought their attention away from their bullshit and they tried to help you. But that's not happening. You had a pain in your heart with nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with struggling. Imagine thinking there's something wrong with you for struggling or having a question about this life. Anyway, you had a question, and then you were in so much pain that you bypassed the deep knowing within your spirit and your intuition, within your discernment that says that person on the internet is just pushing on pain points because the machine gave them basic bitch marketing advice, marketing frame, get marketing, blah, 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 blah. And then you clicked buy $10. They take your $10, and then you have something that was, here's your pain, and then a fake solution. The fake solution doesn't work because it was created by a machine. And then you wonder why you're still stuck. Taking in all this stuff. And then you feel worse about yourself. And then, after doing that for years and years and years, you have a question, how come I can't hear the voice of God? And their strategy would have won. Believing that there's something wrong with you because you can't hear the voice of God. Oh, there must be something wrong with me. No, you've been ingesting things that pretend to be the voice of God. The artificial intelligence versus the divine intelligence. It's artificial. Maintain custody over your senses. The pain in your heart is fixed in an instant with a challenged but earnest relationship with God, with a challenged but earnest relationship with your creativity. Get up and do it. Try. You don't have to worry about how many people see it. You don't have to worry about going viral. You don't have to worry. You do not confuse the creative process for feeling productive. You mistake that for capitalism. Productivity has nothing to do with this. Am I making sense? Is this landing? You need to make it through fear. You need to touch grass. You must. It's going to, this is me just as an aside, the Perez Hilton thing. I have to be careful about what I talk about because I don't want to invite nonsense. That happened. The Perez Hilton thing happened, and it's hit me like a ton of bricks. Why? Because it's sad. But before I get into what I think it is, concurrent to that, again, I host a lot of people in my classroom, in my online containers, in my workshops, one-on-ones, etc. I'm involved in lots of in-person things, community things, activist things. Everybody got struck in the heart aggressively in the last week. in a way that is challenging to them, in a way that's not like, oh, the retrograde. No, 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 no. Let me actually, I'm actually defenseless against whatever just happened. And it's in my heart. And it's this, the wounds are loud. I thought I dealt with this type of thing. Everybody's going through it. And for what it's worth, men, from my pattern recognition, got it a little harder. Not to say that people didn't struggle, but I'm saying men, it got ugly. Not that it didn't get ugly it was ugly for me, but the men in my life, some didn't make it. Why? Because there's this material in you that wants to be loved by God, that wants you to see that this thing in you that thinks makes you broken, this abandonment, this story, this experience, this aspect of you that you think is beyond reproach, that is irredeemable, that is unfixable. That material in you wants to be used and as an instrument of connection to other people in the world. You must write a poem about it. You must write the solution, the grace that you've been given, etc. There was an initiation, a drawing near of supernatural aid, drawing near to the most critical part of you, your heart. Not everybody made it, because too long have we spent inside of godless solutions. That so much so that we don't recognize what it feels like when God comes near, nor do you recognize what it feels, the enemy, when it approaches. Everything for you is an attachment style. Everything is psychological truisms from quotes. Everything is a tweet. Everything is internet slop. We've forgotten the sacred texts. We forgot what they said in the Buddhist tradition. We forgot what they said in the Muskogee Creek tradition. We forgot the prophecies. We forgot what the old patriarchs said. What the writings that were on the cave paintings. We forgot all of it. We're just listening to tweets now. But something happened in the heart, and a lot of people snapped because a lot of people were attacked. A drawing near to God, to your creative initiation, to the initiation into creative maturity, into obedience with your creativity. Man was attacked in spiritual warfare. Perez Hilton was on the internet for 30 minutes doing the worst thing a human could possibly do, harm themselves. If you don't think that's spiritual, if you don't understand that to be spiritual, if you don't understand your tendency to ruminate on your own pain as a spiritual sickness and not a psychological issue, if you don't understand that yet, I did not see it. I don't need to. This is conjecture only, what I'm about to say. The other thing was not. What is conjecture is it felt like a ritual. Why was it on the internet for 30 minutes? Not dissimilar to Charlie Kirk, if you ask me. Good times create weak men. There will be no, I don't know if this is what you meant, but there will be no hatred, no male man speak, a negative man speak in any of my platforms. I don't know if that's what you meant, but just in case. Why? Because they're under attack, obviously. My saint, I was recently confirmed in the Roman Catholic Church, and my confirmation saint is Saint Joseph, the terror of demons. Why? Mary was approached by the angel and was asked for her consent to carry out the incarnation within her body. Asked for her consent, by the way. Most people skip that. There's so much talk about how religion is patriarchal, and I'm just like, man, of course, the practice of it is, yes, but let's not throw out the baby with the bathwater. The invisible realms waited for Mary to arrive, to ask for her consent. She needed to carry this act of creation, the incarnational miracle, the invisible to the visible. This is what your art is. The invisible becoming visible. She was asked to steward it, cultivate it, host it in her body, and then care for it for her whole life. That's what you're asked to do as an artist. She needed protection from St. Joseph. He did not want to, but he locked in. He's known as the terror of demons. If you do not have a spiritual comportment to yourself, going forward, guys, I don't know what to tell you. Alex Preddy, the woman who wrote Existential Kink, didn't make it through the week. Didn't make it through the week. People are going to lose their minds. There's going to be things that challenge your, this is Vanessa speaking. This is not representation of the Roman Catholic Church, although some of this is in the Bible, but this is Vanessa's talking. Please check in with your own spiritual guides, your own spiritual teachers, your spiritual directors, your priest, etc. Above my own voice. Your intuition is far more important than what I'm saying. People are going to start losing their minds because they're going to start losing the battle within spiritual warfare. Y'all have to lock in. You have to lock in. You have to lock in. Your nervous system, unregulated, wants to identify other people for their differences. And it keeps you separated. When you're under threat, you have to learn how to see a different way and feel your way through this world. You have all been programmed from childhood. You have all been attacked. You and your creativity, because God is the creator, your creative idea we know is going to change the world, it's going to impact somebody's life for the better. We already know that because God creates good and God exists outside of time. We exist inside of it. Whatever your creative idea is, your purpose will help somebody gravely. God exists outside of time. We exist inside of time. So we don't know how it's going to end, but you must have faith that the reason you have that creative idea is because it's going to help somebody. And so therefore, inside of time, you have your creative capacity, your confidence, the clarity of your vision. Your senses have all been attacked under spiritual warfare. It was an excruciating week. Yes, I woke up to heart pains as well. Anyone else wake up to heart pains? Until recently? Did it clear? It cleared for me on Sunday. If you don't understand that to be an initiation, listen to me. You better find a way for the first time in your life to get onto your knees and thank God that you made it. I'm dead serious. Ask for help. What is that thing you're up in pain about? Say, God, I don't even know if you're real, and I low-key am really frustrated at you and all the church people for being weird and hypocritical. That said, but we can't talk about that right now because I got something on my heart. We're gonna have to deal with that later because I got words for you, God. I'm confused and I resent you for a lot. But right now, I need a little bit of help. You're allowed to do that. Thank you for being here. This is the most people I've ever had on a YouTube Live. If you could like, subscribe, any gifts you could offer would be great. You're welcome, Grant. The fake world is being exposed and is collapsing. I believe that firmly. Your ego along with it. Does God answer? Yes, of course. The people who stay sane are the people who maintain their dignity, your creative capacity. How do you maintain the battle between platform optimization and soul expression? I am far heavier in soul expression. I don't, platform optimization is something that I have discarded. Who said I need to do that? What rule is that? To answer your question, the question is, how do you maintain a battle between platform optimization and soul expression? Oh, thank you, Kay. Thank you so much. It means so much to me. It means a lot. Every time. Thank you. How do I maintain the battle, manage the battle? I get my creative advice from God. I don't get it from the unwritten rules of the next 3 months. TikToks, here's the new creator rules. I don't give a shit. And that's what I'm saying. It's important. It's important that y'all touch grass. Who is your creativity coming from? Who sets the rules? Who decides? That's a mature conversation between you and the source of your inspiration. I'm not 6 anymore. I don't have to listen to what TikTok says. Yes, it is. It's still available. For those of you, I need to take a PR break, self-promotion break. For those of you who are interested in the vibration and the frequent, if you're picking up what I'm putting down, I teach an online course. It's everything, the kitchen sink. It's a crash course in the Vanessa pedagogy, all the vibes. Challenge is a course that I teach, 75 hard, but for creativity. It's a 30-day challenge. You get 6 workshops from me every single week, plus a prep week. They're rigorous. Anyway, I think there's a few people who are in it. It's everything that I teach. It's the most accessible price point. It's the number one criticism that I get from this course is that there's too much in it. That's the point. That's the design. I'm flooding you with everything that I've got. This is what the live is like. Heaven forbid, I promise you I'm not wasting your money or your time. And if there's people who have taken the course, please co-sign that. Any negative feedback is also welcome in the discourse, in the challenge. It's 75 hard for your creativity. Thank you, Lior. It's everything that I teach about creative maturity, about engaging with about disengaging from fear, about finding stamina, about overcoming blocks, about overcoming paralysis, about finding connection to your audience. It's almost impossible. This is the issue that I have with this course, is that there's so much in it. It's impossible for me to describe what's in it. It's 6 lectures. They're all 3 hours long, within a 30-day period. It takes you through the excavation and the confrontation of your most critical fear. It teaches you creative maturity. If you've taken the class, please drop what you got from it, because it's impossible for me to describe what's in it. In addition to the class itself, let me just go to the website and just stop. Let me see if I can just read from what I wrote. What is it? Let me see. Hold on. Give me a second, guys. Stand. The villain challenge is 75 hard, but for your creativity. It's your creative coming of age in 30 days. I always say that your creativity requires growth and maturity. It requires, just like all the spiritual traditions teach, that there is a first half of your spiritual life and a second half of your spiritual life. Your creativity, like your spiritual journey, requires maturity. It requires ripening into obedience. It requires ripening into discipline. And right now, your issue is that you think you're defective. What you need is a rite of passage, a coming of age. It's called the villain challenge for a couple of reasons, because within mythology, the hero's coming of age, Luke becoming a Jedi, Dorothy matriculating down the yellow brick road, is contingent upon that hero's encounter with the villain. There is countless content out there that says that your villain era is about you suddenly being the bad guy. And the way in which that is bullshit. The way in which your art does not need you to start being the bad guy, to start being selfish. What you need as the protagonist of your own story is to encounter the antagonizing force that helps you overcome your most critical fear. And it's a fear that rests in your psyche as a blind spot. It's a fear that rests inside of you. It's a fear that you mistake for wisdom within yourself. It's a fear that you mistake for virtue. There is a fear that you mistake for virtue. Oh, well, I have to do this. I believe in this. My art is stuck because I write work that's intelligent. Who said that that's what? I want to be a Jedi because I believe I want to be like my father before me. Well, hold on. The villain is an antagonist to your most critical fear. The villain, you do not become the villain, which is lazy. Enter the villain era. Why? Oh, yeah, I'm going to be a villain. Why would you be a villain? You're welcome. Why would you be a villain? I'm doing the villain challenge right now. Me and my team are doing the villain challenge right now, and I'm getting floored. Anyway, let me keep reading this because I hit flow state. It's an intensive course about creativity, in addition to it being a 30-day challenge. So I always market it as 75 hard, but for your creativity. It's 30 days. So in addition to the live lectures from me are its own thing. You also get 75 hard, which is the rules. There are the rules that I created from my survey of all of these mystical texts, all of these ancient religions, all of these elder wisdom. How do I embody creative maturity? How do I disentangle myself from the matrix of like, oh, being an artist is about having brand colors. What? What are the raw materials of creative maturity as embodied? This has been written about on the cave paintings by every elders in the history of the species. The way in which we have lost the sacred text about what it means to be an artist, how to do it, what it requires at the level of the body. We are far. And so the 75 hard, the rules are, what are they, guys? A daily 45-minute workout, 45 minutes on your creative work every single day, abstaining from a vice for the duration of the challenge, maintaining an impeccable creative space or home, cleaning your house every single day, daily meditation, and embodying something every single day that you would typically be ashamed of. That one is the one that's, yeah. So those are the rules. So you have the class with me, plus you have the rules, plus you have a lot of written work. It's a crash course. Number one criticism I get is that it is comprehensive and exhausting. It's impossible to fail because I'm doing the lift. I'm doing it for you. So the challenge starts, so the course starts September 1st. It runs for 30 days in September. There is a prep week, September 1st through the 7th is the prep week. You must prep before we do this. And then, so there's 2 prep calls, and then there's 4 weeks of work. And those happen on the Mondays within September, with the exception of the holiday week. All of this is on the website. Yes, it is important. Yes, it is important. It is important. But my visibility, you're asking, how am I seen? I do not let what I guess maybe that's not true. I do know how to use the apps to be visible, but more than I use the apps and how I use the internet algorithms to I don't massage more than I massage the app technology to become visible. I massage the heart of my message to become visible. And if it exhausts me in the process, so be it. I am very clear on the high vision of my work, who my audience is. I'm very clear about that. It's not artists age 24 to 36. That's marketing. I'm talking about, what are the contents of a person's soul? What fears? What issues are they struggling with? Who are they? What does it feel like to be them? By the way, these are questions that we go through in my class. If you do not know the high vision of your art, if you do not know who your audience is, if you do not have a creative process, you will have one by the end of these 30 days. If you don't have an artist statement, raise your hand if you're stuck in your art, but you don't have an artist statement. Raise your hand. I don't know what I'm doing. Who are you as the artist? No wonder you're stuck. Who is your audience? Who's your audience? I'm stuck in my art and I don't know why. Who's your audience? Name them. Do you know? The high vision of your art is what your art wants, what your art wants. The artist statement is a statement of who you are. You don't know who your audience is? And you wonder why you're stuck? And then you feel, because you're stuck, you feel like there's something wrong with you. No, man, you need to grow up with love. With love, I say in my heart. Artistry is not about masturbating with your own gifts. Art is not about being a good artist, being a mature artist. It has nothing whatsoever to do with using your gifts to validate yourself. Oh, I want to be a singer, and I'm going to put myself online. And so then when I do, people will tell me I'm a good singer. No, you use your gifts to validate other people. So who are the other people that you're validating? Do you know? Why not? So this is a fraction of what we get into in the class. What does creative maturity look like? All right, Rem, you're missing my point. Creative maturity is a spiritual disposition. Creative maturity is an orientation towards your audience and away from yourself. In the same way that Luke Skywalker matures into someone who wants to be a Jedi because he thinks it's cool, into realizing that he is a person who is gifted enough to defend the galaxy and to maintain balance between the light and the dark. That's the maturing. That's the final form of a hero. Someone who uses the struggles that they faced terrifying things on behalf of other people. That's what a hero is. A mature artist is someone who has overcome their personal and local limitations to write and to become someone who is committed to doing something universal. Maturity is about lending yourself to other people. That is the spiritual coming of age process of the human being. The final form of a human being is someone who helps somebody selflessly. Can medication interfere with creativity? Of course, but you knew the answer to that already. That's why you asked. You already knew the answer. And this is what I mean. Creative maturity, and this is everybody's questions are welcome. Do not take my tone for your questions not being welcome. This is me addressing the fear in you, not you. Over and over again, I see people asking me questions that they know the answer to. And this is what I mean. You need to recover your dignity. So a question I get all the time, how do you start? How do I start? I want to become a painter. How do I start? You go to the store and you buy paintbrushes. Who convinced you that you don't know how to, you have mastered walking thought. Who has convinced you that you don't know how to start something? My favorite quote about creativity, in order to begin, is how do you begin? By beginning. Dragon, I don't understand your question. The exo chamber? I don't understand what you're saying. I did know, but I meant affecting your creativity in a negative or positive way. Well, you know the answer to that as well. Now, I don't mean to be difficult. I can answer it. I'm not a medical expert, so I can't tell. And it's not responsible for me to say what medications, how they impact. That's not my purview. What I am here to help you understand is that you do have answers to the questions you are asking. That there is a force out there that convinces you that you do not know how to answer, that you cannot answer with time, with patience, with a spiritual connection, that you cannot answer your own questions. Oh, echo chamber. I don't know why I read that as echo. That was weird. Forgive me. How do you know creativity is spiritual? I don't know how to answer that question. I don't know how to answer that question. How do I know that creativity is spiritual? That's what every text has said. Every single sacred text in the world talks about the relationship between creativity and the spirit. That's what these sacred texts are about. That's what all religion is about. Is creativity. No, you don't annoy me. This is how I speak. You do not annoy me. You don't have to apologize at all. Your questions are welcome. Do not be afraid. You're new here, so don't be discouraged by my tone. I think you were asking me a good question. It's you're not annoying me. It's challenging me, but it's not. It's what I'm also wrestling with, in addition to the challenging question, is my own heart. Which is sadness at that question exists. God is the creator. Creativity is spiritual. Life is spiritual. Everything is spiritual. Creativity is the most spiritual thing you can do. If God is the creator and I'm creative, what is the relationship between that? Just at the level of analyzing Latin-based languages, Romance languages. If God is the creator and I am creative, what is the thing that connects us? Creativity. If I'm a creature, if I was created and God is the creator, what is the thing connecting us? Creativity. Creativity and God go hand in hand in every tradition. In the beginning, what's the fifth word of the Bible? God created. Creativity is spiritual because you create art that comes from an invisible life force. Creativity is spiritual because it's invisible and it's made visible. Creativity expresses what the soul feels. Spirituality gives those feelings meaning. I don't know about the latter clause. Spirituality doesn't give anything meaning to me. Is numerology mixed into the Bible? That's above my pay grade. I don't know. You have a very insidious theme that regents my soul. What do you mean? You guys would not believe the spiritual warfare that every time I get to talking, you would not believe the things that people say. The energies that come in here, either through any one of us to distract what's happening. I believe it might be happening as we speak. I'm Roman Catholic. Do I have any moderators in TikTok? Distract. Does Catholicism aid my creativity? Yes. If I had one piece of advice to remain connected to the voice that guides us in our creativity, what would it be? Explore your relationship to God. Overcome, take seriously the spiritual questions on your heart. On your heart. Not the things that you Google as solutions to fix yourself, not the things that you address in your self-help explorations. I'm saying, what's going on? Have the courage to keep asking if God is real. Yeah? So the villain challenge, if you there's a discount right now. If you sign up before the 17th, you get a discount, and there's payment installments. Yeah, I encourage it. I'm gonna do one more goal. There's these creators that get gifts all the time, and it makes me think that I don't understand how to use this platform. It's not an attack on you. It just makes me think that I don't know what I'm doing. You're welcome. Thank you. It's a 30-day challenge. No, I'm not on Twitch. Don't fall into fear and isolation, guys. The extent to which you are all falling into fear and isolation is alarming. It's alarming and it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. Thank you. There are codes in the Bible. My goodness. If you want to ask me why I'm Catholic, because it's the man, boy, man. How do I share, Lord? I've been watching alien documentaries, codes about the Egyptians and the pyramids and Indiana Jones since I was a little girl. And then when I finally saw that, my God, the most shocking, thrilling codes about the universe that are in the Bible. When I finally figured it out, in everyone's defense, the Bible's hard to understand. It's dense. Why? Because it's alive. Now I'm going to lose a lot of you. That's fine. The Bible, man, the codes in there. Romans 7 and 8 would blow your mind. Do you think creativity is a psychological way of connecting with somebody deeper within ourselves? And could that be what we experience as spirituality? No, I think it's a spiritual way of connecting to other people, and we call that psychology. It's observable in psychology, but I think it's the relationship is in the inverse. I think creativity is spiritual, and its lesser impact is within the realm of psychology. Romans 7 and 8 would blow your mind. I taught summer school I have a virtual school for artists, and a lot of it is one-on-one. The most popular course is the Villain Challenge. It's the most accessible course. I taught summer school, and it was most like 90% people who've been through my courses already, so they know the vibe, or people who've worked one-on-one with me over a stretch. Summer school was like, all right, we know the deal. We know Vanessa's weird. Let's lock in. I taught a lot about mythology at the start, and then we did a class on spiritual warfare, which was aggressive for people. I did a class in summer school on finances and making money, because I used to work in finance and I'm a Marxist. So I was like, well, let's get weird and talk about both those things, and talk about how to get you guys out of this. But I talked about spiritual warfare. And the class was about 2.5 hours, and I grazed at the surface. I went about 4% into what I wanted to go into. Thank you again, Primetime. What I wanted to get into was what's in Romans 7 and 8. If a walk through of that would horrify you. You can still win the war. When you say people are not making it, I hope that if you feel lost in the battle of spiritual warfare, you can still win the war. It's an excellent point. Thank you, Tom. That's part of Romans 7 and 8, that you need to understand the warfare that is afoot and understand that it is already won. But the victory depends on your free will. Your free will, and what you do with your free will is the battle. You can still win. But is our desire to create simply, no, it's not. It's a spiritual disposition. Creativity is a spiritual endeavor. It is a supernatural process. When I'm closer to God, my creativity soars. When I'm not, the output of my work declines. Yes, that's right. Is perception and cognition part of creativity? And how do we connect it with spirituality? I don't understand your question. Is perception and cognition part of creativity? Yes. How do I connect my perception and my cognition to my spirituality? I don't know if I understand your question, but here's how I would try to answer it. I need a spiritual process and a process of maintaining the body that is also spiritual. So I'm not going to the gym so that I can look good in a bikini, though Lord knows that's what I want. I'm going to the gym because I'm creative. I'm working out, I'm eating certain foods because I'm creative, because I'm a spiritual being. I need to create in myself the possibility of achieving a spiritual body. I have that invitation as a human being. That's possible for my body to become spiritual. So how do I create in myself the for a spiritual perception and cognition that is spiritual? One, you need a spiritual process. Any spiritual process will help your perception and cognition become attuned to God. But that's what Romans 7 and 8 is about. Living in the flesh, living in the mind, existing for and thinking and perceiving, understanding at the level of the earth, at the level of the matrix, versus understanding with the power of the spirit. Answer really crudely, how do I lend my perception, my cognition to my spirituality? With impossible without the help of Jesus Christ. For me. How do you find your creativity? You don't, it's always there. Sometimes I feel forsaken. It's interesting, isn't it, what we talk about? I'm talking about creativity, and then people are saying, I feel forsaken. That's in the Bible. That is a spiritual question. You better ask the Lord for help. You can. I believe our ability to create might be one of the deepest ways we experience the Creator within us. Yes, that's my point. You experience God within you if you are obedient to your creativity, because God is the Creator. How does one truly overcome fear? With the help of the Spirit. Dysregulation is the epitome of being out of alignment. Yes. Maintain custody over your senses, because you are surrounded by things constantly that are here to dysregulate you on purpose. How does one overcome fear? Take my course. I know you guys don't like that answer. Is the opposite of creation destruction, or would destruction also be a necessary part of creation? It depends on. Is creation the opposite of destruction? Yes. Is destruction a necessary part of creation? Also, yes. Those things aren't antithetical. What is the first thing I do when I wake up? Sometimes I scroll, but usually pray for an hour. I'm very curious. I'm very curious between a human and a creator. I have so many questions. Happy to answer your questions. If you can help with any likes, subscribes. And thank you everyone for the gifts. It really means a great deal. All right, I think I will call it quits. How long has it been? It's been 2 hours. Thank you guys. Means a lot. You can find me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. Sign up for the Villain Challenge. If you sign up before the 17th, you get an extra workshop with me. How to be successful in the challenge. It's hard. Is anyone thinking about joining? Anyone have any questions about the course before I go? Any logistical questions? No? All right. I'll see you on the flip side. Well, you have access to the course. Yeah, you can download all the you get the things live. You get the course live, and then you get replays, and then you can download the replays, and you get access to the course material indefinitely. Thank you so much. Is being spiritual a requirement for the course? No. Can you speak more to the tasks in the course? You have daily journal prompts. They're rigorous journal prompts for all 30 days that help you kind of excavate deeply into your fears and overcome them. It's really rigorous, not like your average journal prompt. You also have weekly creativity, weekly capstone projects, something about your creative process that you will need. You need to identify the high vision of your art. You need to identify who your future audience is. You need to identify what your a mature creative process needs to be. You need to know what that is. You need to be conscious of it, and you need to name it, water it, and commit to it. And you also need the high vision. You need an artist statement. So those are the 4 big assignments that you must do in the challenge. But there's more. There's a lot. At what time are they live? They are 7 p.m. Eastern, but you get the replays. About 40% of the people watch on replays. Most people don't. I mean, a good chunk of the people aren't live. Yeah? Cool. All the information is on the website as well. All right. Thank you, guys. Starts September 1st. Discount if you sign up by the 17th. It's probably going to sell out. All right. Bye, guys.